Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Viewpoint. We continue talking issues related to the National Day celebration. You know, we'll talk of 20th May. We have to talk about it. We can talk about it the whole week. That is why in today's edition of the program, we are still on the National Day celebration. With me in the studio, we have two gentlemen who will talk to us about this issue of the National Day celebration, the cancellation of the official manifestation, public manifestation that was supposed to be during the 20th May celebration. And we want to look at factors that threaten the unity that we are celebrating. Let's begin with Mr. Augustine Wendung Ndoye. He is a journalist.
A pleasure, Vinashus. Yes. Of course, giving me the privilege to be on your panel once again, of course, to enlighten the public about burning issues affecting national life. I'm just quite honored to be here.
Thank you so much.
On this very day that Cameroon celebrates the 49th edition of the unitary state.
Like you said it, the 49th edition of this unity, which we pride ourselves of in Africa. Yeah. Mr. Wendung is being accompanied by Mr. Fundu Ignatius, a civil society activist. Good evening, sir. Thank you for being there for us.
Good evening, Mr. Mange. Good evening to Mr. Augustine. Yeah, I'm happy to be together with you today. I've been observing you always on Viewpoint.
Wow.
I think today is our duty to talk on issues that concern the state, because those who manage the state, they are like players that are playing a football match, and the spectators observe. It is also they comment. It's also their right to comment that what you did like this was not right. You have to do it like this, because the match you are playing is our match, all of us. So our authorities, they should always listen when the citizens comment on their services. Good evening once more.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fundu. And actually, it is in this means of commenting that people make amend, people change the way the state is being managed. Let's go to part one of the program. We begin with question one. Augustine, I'm with you. Cancellation of Unity Day celebration in Cameroon. Any impact on national unity?
Great impact indeed.
Augustine says there is an impact. Yes, there is an impact. A great one. Mr. Fundu, any impact? The cancellation of national unity?
Yes.
Mr. Fundu says there is an impact. We take question two with you, Mr. Fundu. Does the Anglophone crisis threaten this unity that we have?
Yes.
All right. He says, yes, it does threaten. Mr. Augustine, does it?
The cracks on national unity comes from the Anglophone crisis.
Okay, yes, therefore it does. Let us take part two of the program. For those of you just joining us, you're watching Viewpoint on DBS Television, and we are live on our Facebook page. When we talk of national unity, we think of those days when children used to go out on ceremonial grounds, march past the official tribune, sing patriotic songs, and this activities, just the exercise itself gave that sense of the unity which we are celebrating on the 20th of May. For the second year, after the 2020, then the 2021 edition has been cancelled. Official celebrations cancelled, and authorities tell us that this is due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Tonight's edition of the program, we are asking the question: is the cancellation of this official celebration, does it have an impact on that national unity, that patriotic spirit that we would have manifested by celebrating? We'll begin with you, Mr. Augustine. You think that yes, it does have a great impact?
Indeed, it does, because when they talk of national unity, any country that will not celebrate a great event that constitute the life of that nation, there is a problem, fundamental. I want to say that coronavirus was declared in Cameroon. That was on the 6th of March, 2020.
Yes.
Okay, and then the whole planet Earth was shut down. 2020 could be justified. That okay, the health crisis compelled Cameroon
not to celebrate.
Not to celebrate.
Yes.
But 2021 is out of place.
Okay.
Out of place because the markets are bustling. Okay? Bars are bustling. I don't even see Cameroonians put on face masks.
Exactly.
Everything. Funerals are ongoing. Even government organized funerals.
Of course.
See millions coming together. And for government to continue with the pretext, cancelling manifestations or hallmark that used to characterize National Day celebrations, like the military march past. You could watch the dexterity of the
military might of the country,
of the military might of the country, signaling to neighboring countries or to any aggressors that if you touch us,
we are
in
force
trouble.
to reckon with.
We are a force to reckon with.
Yes.
But when that demonstration is not done for 2 years, there is something wrong here. And I want to say that it's not just the military. You talked about patriotic songs, because the National Day celebration, gives Cameroonians the opportunity to demonstrate and to renew their patriotic spirit to the fatherland. Once it's not happening, like now, the street is like a ghost town.
Yes.
The whole nation is shut down.
That is it.
It's instant morosity. It is about mourning. There is nothing to celebrate about. It comes to tell you that it could be providential because since the escalation of the Anglophone crisis on the 16th of October to 2016,
yes,
because it was precisely the 16th of October 2016,
yes,
thousands of Cameroonians have spilled their blood. They have died. Nobody had declared a day
of mourning
for them. Could heaven be declaring it
on their behalf?
On their behalf?
That is it.
Without man being aware? Now, because the polemics or the manipulation here is that how can a country justify that, National Day manifestations wouldn't take place because of health crisis, whereas the markets are bustling, whereas the bars
activities
are
going on normally.
Activities are going on normally. We have not seen any controls anywhere. This could equally give us another reading. Could Cameroon not be going for a financial suicide? That is why they want to project this to Bretton Woods institutions. That, oh, come on, we need money because COVID-19 is ravaging our population. That is why a day like the National Day that wouldn't go on notice now is celebrated with no event. That is the reading I want to make. That they want to make capital out of these by justifying that the absence of manifestation is indicative that COVID-19 is still ravaging Cameroon, and Cameroon will need financial assistance from international bodies and, of course, financial institutions. Okay, of course. And why is Cameroon, as Africa in miniature, blessed by the God of heaven with just everything, could go for economic quagmire? Is because the war in the northwest and the southwest region had drained government coffers.
Okay, the war in the southwest and northwest region, we will be coming to that. Mr. Fundu, we are celebrating a unity, the unity which we pride ourselves of in Africa as the only country in Africa that is united in terms of English and French. That this bilingualism that we have. Yet we downplay it for reasons given by the officials is coronavirus pandemic. Cancelling the celebration. You say that yes, it has an impact on that unity which we say that it is what keeps us, our essence of, that's what keeps us together.
Yes, celebrating the unity is part of our history. Remember, a country that does not have events like this is a country that does not have history. I'm trying to say that the reason saying that it is because of COVID-19 is not enough for canceling.
It's not strong enough
it's
to
not
cancel.
strong enough to defend the cancellation of this national celebration. If there is another celebration behind, our authorities should make it clear for us to understand that there's something wrong, because we are already seeing when we compare it with other activities that are taking place in the country, we notice that reason COVID-19 is not enough to defend this national day. Okay, I'll continue by saying that, as I said last time, that you know that a national celebration is history, and it is inside our education. Children need to know they are taught days like this one. Remember that there are children who don't learn only in the class. It's not only theory. These days, they see it, they participate in it, and they know exactly what the teacher was teaching in the class. Just imagine a child who was in class 1. This is the second year.
Yes.
Will not know that there's an important day that is supposed to be celebrated. It kills down the patriotism. Remember that when children go out, I'm taking it because for us, we the adults, even at this age, it is already in our mind that there is a date that was supposed to be, even though it is not taking place, but we know it already. But there is a certain age that they need to see it live. You remember, children, they understand this day because of activities
that they used to carry out.
Match pass, football matches, and the other activities. They also use this opportunity to know. Remember, there are certain personalities that children, even the civilians, they use opportunity to see them during this national celebration. I can start right from the subdivisions right to the capital in Yaoundé, because from the subdivision we have mayors, the DO, which in the subdivision has villages. There are people who live in villages who have opportunity to see the authorities
just on that official day
like this one. I'm talking in terms of a subdivision. And then go now to Yaoundé. People are happy to see the president.
Of course.
They see the ministers. They use the opportunity to see them live. So this thing, cancellation, is killing down the morale and the patriotism. You know, the patriotism comes from the heart, first of all. When the absence of celebration, it brings down these feelings. Yes.
And like Mr. Augustine was saying, you know, this during such celebrations of like national days, like we have this Unity Day, that's when the country demonstrates the strength, her might. You see, the military artillery is brought out, and we demonstrate it into the world. It's not only in Cameroon.
The national is not only in Cameroon.
Yes.
National days, I mean, is in the global earth, is when a nation demonstrates its force, its strength.
Yes.
Even its economic potentials, its intellectual, its intelligentsia, it demonstrates its military governance. Because when the president is at Amadou Ahidjo Bolivar, he's flaunted by the entire government.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's admired. It's admired.
Yes.
And let me tell you that it equally demonstrated how the democratic culture in the country is on the march, because on National Day, it's not only military might, you have political parties demonstrating their patriotism, their republican spirit to national institutions, to the nation's institutions, and equally sending across a message.
Because when you read some of the banners, some of the placards that they march past with,
of course,
very salient messages.
Salient messages that call about government controlling government actions.
Yes.
Those parties that are not in parliament, they seize this opportunity on this day to send across messages that could equally beef up government action in governance. But I want to tell you, remember that when coronavirus was declared, government equally took measures. Okay? Could they not apply the measures?
Correct.
For the celebration of National Day.
The Prime Minister declared that not more than 50
not
people.
More than 50 people could gather. But the Bolivar Amadou Ahidjo, they could have even 2 million soldiers.
Yes.
And you still have physical distancing.
Of course.
So
The distance is, the space is there.
Do you now agree with me that there is a hidden agenda behind this? And my reading of the hidden agenda is that government is in dire need of money. And they want to project this, this cancellation in order to go to financial institutions to get assistance. On the other hand, I want to say that it's providential, that God is equally sending across a message.
Yes.
That the country is not well, the country is sick. And you cannot celebrate national unity. When they talk about unity, they are talking about two persons coming together. And if the union is being betrayed, if the union is cracked, if the union is ruptured, it needs to be repaired. Therefore, if we are not celebrating national unity today for 2 good days, 2 good years running down the road, I want to believe that government should start thinking to actually go to the actual date of celebration or celebrating national unity.
I wanted to add that
before we take
when
question
we
two.
talk about national unity, it should not only be a country like Cameroon that 2 states come together. There are countries that have not gone through this kind of history that still need national unity. We have to be very careful. National unity is very important before external relations. If the country is not united, the external relations will not be a good one. Why I'm saying this one? Because a country, we could not put our national celebration at risk, and then we accept things like the football competition that just took place in Cameroon, which means that we are considering our external relations more than our national unity. And I want to add, like Mr. Augustine is saying, I said last time here that I'm foreseeing that our state is facing financial difficulties. Let us just take from the way our country managed the COVID-19 crisis. Do you know that the kind of threat that we saw this thing given in foreign countries? I thought that when the lockdown was declared,
was announced, yes,
we were going to have health teams that were going to go in the quarters from house to house, like we used to have this vaccination teams, so
yes,
testing individuals. You go to a house where you test everybody, and so that anybody that is tested positive will be taken
isolated
out of the family,
yes,
and taken to
treatment.
We did not see this thing, but yet what we saw was like what we saw in the south, that a chief will leave from a whole village. His subjects are waiting for him, that is going to receive materials that are going to be used to prevent, and then he's given a 5 liters bucket. Those are some of the signs that shows that the country is facing financial difficulties.
All right, Mr. Fondo, those are facts, and we are talking about the unity of a country which we are celebrating, but we are looking at this unity. Augustine, if we have to go forward, we must look at cracks into this unity. If not, we are not, we are not certain that we are going to arrive at our target. That is why we are asking the threat to this unity, and we are isolating, and we are bringing out the issue of the Anglophone crisis as a threat to this unity.
Yes, beautiful. I want to say that as far back when we were still in school, as far back when we were still in school, we had the famous SCNC that every 1st of October, you will hear them that they are hoisting flags, either in Mamfi, either in Kumbo, or some localities Old Town, in west of the Mongo.
Yes.
And the Chief Ayamba Otus, Fongala, they were there. They actually cried for salvation, and they were not radicals. They were so coordinated, in the sense that they have a motto. When I was reading, that their motto is the force of argument, and not the argument of force. And I think that is where the problem started, and it was neglected, because each time when these people want to raise their voices, military will crack them down. They will go into holes. Yet you will hear them going to the UN, you will hear them traveling abroad, carrying these issues. And I want to say that once you are in a family, when children or some members of the family start raising an issue.
Yes.
If you are the family head, you must demonstrate wisdom and insight and discernment to disseminate whether they were right or they are wrong. And for you to disseminate whether they are right or wrong, it is for you to call them to the table and listen to them. Like what transpired, historians have written that what transpired in 1972 in Fumban was a travesty of justice, and of course a civilian coup d'etat, because it was a complete scam from the Chief Ayambas. Before the SCNC could come up, the JN Foncha, Dr. J.N. Foncha, who is the father of reunification, before dying had voiced his discontentment about the manner in which this union was being managed, and had urged. I have even the speech of Dr. Jongo Foncha when he resigned from the Cameroon People Democratic Movement, the CPDM, in 1990.
Yes.
Okay, I have the speech written. I have a copy of it. Okay, and one of the reasons was the manner in which the union
is being managed.
Yes. You see this, so the crack started like remote causes before now arriving at what is called the immediate cause. The immediate cause became the fact that, teachers west of the Mongo had talked about the systematic plan by La République to destroy the Anglo-Saxon subsystem of education.
Yes.
Teachers have formed trade unions and have spoken constantly, time without number. Nobody listened to them. And it came now to the point where lawyers, who are elites in society, lawyers are, a core of intelligentsia in every given society.
Yeah.
When the lawyers took to the street on the 16th of October 2016, instead of them being called to table, they were molested, battered, and students rocked in mud, raped, and brutalized, tortured. These are the cracks. You asked me about cracks.
Yes.
From this, a consortium, an Anglophone civil society consortium was put in place to broker a peace, headed by Barrister Abo Bala,
yes.
Congo Felix, backed up by Dr. Fontaine. Okay? But what happened? the government bench came from Yaoundé with a pre-concerted plan to dictate a reminiscent of what happened in Fumban. But not knowing that they were dealing with a different epoch, a different era, and a different breadth of persons. Because time has evolved. And the consortium leader said, no, this cannot happen. It is about dialogue. Okay. You talk and I talk. You listen and I listen.
Yes.
So we resolved and come to a consensus. They were dark. These are the cracks.
Okay.
The immediate immediate escalation now became what is now known as
the Anglophone crisis.
Armed conflict. Not just the Anglophone crisis.
Yes.
The Anglophone crisis is the armed conflict. When, a group of Anglophones took upon themselves and said, no, we cannot sit and watch.
Okay. Now, we are looking at how this conflict is threatening the unity we are celebrating. Because, like he's saying, in a family, when two brothers starts complaining, that family, if care is not taken, that family can no longer be together, Mr. Fondo.
Yes, when two brothers are fighting, that family cannot more together. We should learn to have concern in another person's problem.
Situation.
Sometimes even more than your own problem. This is how it starts. You see, situation like this, we also learn from it to apply it. In our families, we can have conflict. If you have a child A child who is hungry will start by reporting that he or she want to eat. If you don't respond, the child will start frowning. Then will burst into cry. If you continue behaving as if the child has no problem, that child will begin to think another
method to send his point across.
Send his point across. We are at this level today because of the way our state managed the issues concerning the national unity, which part of the country were not satisfied. And I would like us to understand that sometimes it is, remember, it is not always good to neglect that's the confidence given to you by another person. We are this when you look at history, what happened through 1961 to 1972, the Anglophones demonstrated in a way that the kind of culture they have is that kind that somebody, when he trusts you and loves you, he can allow you to share the bed with his wife, knowing that
at least he trusts you.
But that trust was
abused,
robbed into the mud. That is where we are today. You remember the question was, can this give threat to national unity?
Yes.
I say yes, but there has not the national unity was not first of all existing before the crisis.
Okay.
Why? There was hate speech, there was tribalism, marginalization. All these things were taking place. Remember, hate speech, let me start from hate speech. Hate speech has eaten Cameroonians right into our bone marrow. And do you know why it has gone to this level? Because when hate speech is being practiced by somebody who pretend to defend the government, the authorities that were supposed to hammer on that altitude, they give a deaf ear to that.
And he continues.
The person is defending the state. That is why it has eaten into, until sometime when we are talking about hate speech, even in the ruling party, is not going. It is because it was neglected. And then marginalization, that one, is something we cannot, there's nobody who doubts. So the crisis, because of all what we were facing, then came to the level that we have this armed conflict that we are having now. Now, like this, I can say that the national unity, even we were to march,
we are just doing a kind of lip service.
Yes,
it is not
in
enough.
that zone. Either the military will, in the regional headquarters, they will do some demonstration and they will go on air. There is no celebration. Nothing is taking place there.
Okay. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
I want to say that
in less than a minute,
yes,
because time is against us.
When we are talking about the Anglophone crisis, national unity, people should know. Please, the Anglophone crisis or the Anglophone problem is not a linguistic problem.
Okay.
It is a political problem that needs a political situation.
Thank you.
The solution,
yes,
rather, because people are mixing it up. I read somebody trying to write, Anglophones are just 2%.
Okay.
And no, we are above that.
All right.
Even if Anglophones were 2%, they are a state.
All right. Thank you so much.
They are a state.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. We are rounding up with this notion that whatever the situation, we still need to preserve a unity, because a country that is not united cannot survive.
A common Cameroonian have nothing with another Cameroonian.
Thank you so much.
It is about political regimes.
Thank you so much,
Let
gentlemen.
the political regime come to terms and revisit the union, in order that you and I, Cameroon, west of the Mongols, East Cameroon, we should live as we are living.
All right.
Because
Thank you so
common
much.
Cameroonians have no problem.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. That is where we are rounding up with common Cameroonians. We have no problem. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have time for today. Up next will be the news in the English language. Until we meet again, have a blessed evening and goodbye. Coronavirus is not an imagination or an invention. It is a real threat that spares no one. We are already counting so many casualties the world over. The situation is serious, and we individually have the choice to scrupulously respect prescribed norms to preserve lives or die by mortgaging the lives of others. Therefore, our responsibility is strongly solicited in rigor and discipline. To stay safe, we need to